So the Panthers go into year 2 of Bryce Young as the starting quarterback. Here's Young from yesterday on new coach Dave Canales' approach to offensive football.
Really, I think it's just the consistency he has. He has a very calming presence. He's someone that that has a conversation with you and talks with you. Good, bad, or indifferent. You can tell there's an emphasis on teaching. At times, of course, we're passionate, and coach a lot of time. There's a lot of yelling and a lot of emotion, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But just his style is very, he wants to teach. He wants to make sure that he communicate. It's not just oh, that's a bad throw or you missed. It's constructive.
Well, look, they got a lot of teaching and learning that needs to be done. They're all in with turning Bryce Young into the best possible player they can be. They have to prove themselves right. They would love nothing more than Young to become this year what C.J. Stroud became last year. And that's what this is all about, getting the most out of the guy that they ultimately gave up the Caleb Williams draft pick to go get.
Yeah, it's a big year, right? There's pressure on Bryce Young. There is. He's number 1 pick last year. To say it wasn't good is kind of understating it. It was alarming, right? I mean, almost in every game. It was managed to such a degree. It looked overwhelmed and out of place at times, right? He didn't look like he physically belonged. There was all those issues that are scary to me. Now, they're taking the right approach. That's the big thing. The kid's got some physical skills. You see there, all right, I know he threw an interception, but he moves well in the pocket. He's got a little sidearm stuff and all that, but this is the disaster stuff we're watching here, right? Now, it's what they do to help him, where they can go, and he didn't have great support last year, and we know that. The thing that they've done, and what I'm going to be interested to see is, one is what? Small quarterback, painfully small. It affects throws and decisions on the field because he's so worried about getting hit, right? So they've gone out and invested in the O-line. But you can see here, hey, he can make throws. He's got sidearm throws. He's very slick in the pocket. He can move a little bit. He can do that. But they got to make him feel safe and warm and comfy, right? That's, to me, the first thing. And the fact that they went out there and spent big money on 2 free agency guards. They already have an unbelievable tackle combination there with Ike Ekwonu and Moton. So they're going to build a big wall in front of him to make him feel comfortable. And I think what we heard with Dave Canales, too, they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to slowly build Bryce Young back up through that type of formula. Going to be fun to see what he can do with it with this new-look Panthers team.
Well, that's the key. One of the things that they were praising him for last year was his processing, his ability to make decisions, to get rid of the football. That's what makes up for being small of stature. He's getting rid of the ball. We saw him take a lot of hits.
A lot.
The processing wasn't at the speed that it needed to be. That's what they need to work on. They need to give him the ability to make the decisions and speed that process up. And if you have and everybody's got a ceiling on what they can do, whether it's arm strength, processing, whatever it is, you find out what it is at the NFL level. But if he's going to need a little more time to get to the point where it's processing as fast as it needs to, like a guy that's been around the league 10, 12 years, where Tom Brady got to eventually, for example, you got to protect him until then because he's not a big guy.
Yeah.
You defied conventions by making this guy the first overall pick, and
yeah, I know.
See what happens.
Yeah, I hear you. I know Pete wants us to take a break, and we'll go back to Dave Canales. I'm just going to say one more thing, if you don't mind, before we go. You're right. There's the size, the processing, all that. Hopefully they can simplify that, make it better for him, let him get the ball out of his hands, right? Because one of the things that I notice when I go back and watch for my quarterback rankings and all that, right? Because of the size, the hits you talk about, first off, when he's hit, it opens our eyes more because it almost looks cartoonish at times because he's so small. So we're kind of like, whoa, that was a train wreck, right? And you're like, well, no, that was actually just a normal hit on a quarterback. He's just small. So they got to take that out of his mind. But what it does, too, because of that and the size, and it's a real issue, is, most quarterbacks, oh, wait, I'm going to get hit in the chest. All right, I'm going to hang in there and throw the ball and take the hit. With Bryce Young, there's throws you watch where he just goes, I got to get it out, or I got to duck or move, and I'm not going to be able to make that throw because I'm going to get totally cremated here. And that's how he's got to find a way to make up for that type of stuff there.
That would be a stunning outcome, to get totally cremated, to get killed and burned up to ashes.
Yes.
That's
next level.
That's next level.
They might have to take that out of the rule book if that happens.
we got to take a break, but I had a flashback to something Peter King wrote last year from his conversations with Frank Reich, or if you're trying to disrespect him on the day you fire him, Reich, about that obscure play from Bryce Young's first year, and it was some very nuanced thing that was like the key that opened it up for Reich. I just wonder in hindsight if he was just looking for anything. Like, he's getting this guy crammed down his throat by David Tepper, and I got to find something to make me feel good about it. And I found something from a game when he was a freshman. So we'll see. He's got a lot to do, and the Panthers have a lot to do, and they won't be on prime time until they do it or trade for Aaron Rodgers. More PFT Live right after this. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.